Hello all, welcome back. We are back here today by the church in the center of town doing some slight improvements. One thing that's been bothering me a little bit is that this path area is very homogeneous. So I was thinking we could try swapping this this town square area toward a different palette, something like terracotta, which I had on hand, or something else, and then I had an idea to try using a little bit of this. I think we have it in here. A little bit of this packed mud stuff, which we haven't really touched at all yet. I think that this would work pretty well here, and particularly the brick variant of it, although we can bring a little bit of both. Okay, can do a little bit of that. One other thing that I've also noticed that's been a little bit of a nuisance here is that every time I need something like that packed mud, gotta run all the way over here to the edge of town, and then maybe it'll be there. Run over here, check in the enormous chest monster, and it might be there. Run all the way down to Big Ben's barbecue, and it might be down there. It's all over the place, man. So I think that one of our major projects for today is going to be to consolidate our storage system and give it a nice facade. And this area up here is actually a pretty good place for it, I think. I don't know if you remember, in the last episode we had a building back here or so that was a fisherman's house that got torn out. I don't think, in my non-professional opinion, that this is the best place to set up camp as a fisherman. So we can preserve some of the legacy of that by leaving a lot of barrel spam around. And that suggests a couple things to me. First, what are they using the barrels for? And I'm not entirely sure about that, but I think that some sort of like winery might be something that would make sense to put up there. And the second question is, what am I going to be using the building for and all the barrels for? And that's quite simple, and we've already partially answered it. We're going to be putting our storage here. So I think what we need to do now is start making some layout choices. So we can sort of go about it a couple different ways. We can put a corner over here, or more like over here. And I think based on what I can see down here, we're going to want to hide it a little bit more behind this tree. So something like that, and extending back from there, take down this. I think that's also going to look decent from over here. In practice, the difference is mostly just going to be that we're not going to see much of it until you get all the way. You're going to catch a little bit of a glimpse here, but really until you go around this bend. Now, rather more than usual here, we're going to be worried about practical functionality, because I would like my storage room to not be awful to use. Right here, we can get quite a bit of storage in, and I think here we're going to actually just do a little chest wall. Over here, I don't want to do that. We might be able to pop one in there, but I think probably we're going to put the door here or here, and just sort of leave this wall, oh dear, to be covered with piled up stuff, and then potentially do another row of chests there, which we can try walling off with a little stack of trapdoors, and then that should leave all of this still accessible. Alright, we've done a little bit of sketching out and filled in the outline pretty much. You can see all around here. Obviously none of the blacks are particularly right. So we want this to be where they make wine. Some fields back here somewhere, and then some areas here where they're doing the production of that. And the problem is, this is like really awkwardly located. So probably peel back this land a little bit and maybe add a little bit of a retaining wall so that you can, say, drive a cart or roll some barrels straight through here out into the street. Okay, we've done a little bit of rough layout work. I think this hill is still kind of under construction, under consideration, but we conceivably have kind of an area that you can drag a cart through or roll some barrels through, which I think is good. And we've kind of outlined the maximum extent of vineyardry. But I think that for the vineyard itself, one thing that would make it pop and look nice is to have some sweet berries. This is just a couple hundred blocks up north of our house, and this is kind of a cool area. We even have this funny RBST birch forest. Oh my gosh, that was closer than I realized. Oh, and we have another one of these. This is actually great because we can steal more rooted dirt from it if we have need of that. Okay, so a little bit of a snag here. There is taiga here, but there are no berries because it is the big tree taiga. So we're going to take a wander over that way, by that island, and see if there's more taiga in the area that'll have berries. Guys, it's not looking good. My internet's not working right now, so we're not gonna do any cheating, not gonna do any looking at the biome map. Gonna sail out into the blue cold void like I was in the old days. It's such a strange place. It feels like I'm walking along the end of the world. Okay, that kind of ruined the illusion. Oh, well that's not ideal. Just got hit by about 2 at once. Source is on crack. Oh yeah. There we go. pass me my subjects. Oh my gosh, buddy got hit by some tridents. It's not in good health. Alright guys, that was quite a time, but we've done it. You can see here we've kind of wiggled the path up this way and have it cutting through here and going to the vineyard. Look at it. Ended up expanding a little bit out from the original intended size. It's kind of looking at it both from down there and also from over here, and it looked a little bit better, kind of stretching off into the distance. I also struggled quite a bit with just coming up with the palette for this, because leaves are actually really hard in the savannah. We have these berry bushes, which are quite a different blue color, and I like that a lot. So initially I was trying to go for something that had a similar color. You can kind of get an idea with these birch leaves. They're a bit darker and more of a blue-green instead of the crusty yellow. But the problem you can kind of see here is that the texture is very transparent, and because of that, these create a lot of visual noise. Mangrove leaves are the absolute best leaf block, in my opinion, right now, because they have some of these holes, but the portion of the block that's covered with solid pixels is way higher. So it makes the whole thing look a lot more substantial and prevents it from just dissolving into a mess of unintelligible pixels. And also did some pretty serious terraforming. Paved new dirt over quite a lot of this. So that's made our hill a little bit more gentle and kind of scalloped it out from the bottom here, which I think looks nice. I think we should now start thinking about this house and what color we want to make it. We have a couple colors. I want to do some sort of colorful color, not just stone. So we've used blue here, and I don't know if I want to reuse that anywhere else in the village. We have a couple that are red already, which could be an option. It would match the berries, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not. And then don't really want to do orange, but there's yellow. We have a yellow up there. So I really want to try a purple color. First thing here, though, is going to be, since all of my terracotta is currently in the frame of this building, should grab a little bit of it back by filling out these sections of this that are going to be stone colored. I guess one thing to be a little bit concerned about is that the stone in the cliff here and the stone in the building are going to blend into each other. That might end up looking cool, but it might also make things a bit messy. Not really completely sure how that'll shake out. But I think this whole sort of side module, you can see it wraps around over here. All of this is going to be solid stone. And then the rest of this is going to be mostly stone until about this height. Pretty similar to what we've done in some of the others. Tentatively settled for brick as our slab block of choice. It is going to be very similar to the roof, which is unfortunate. But I think we're kind of just going to have to eat the loss because mangrove is too dark to match. The netherwood is too purple to match. Down here we need to do quite a bit of texturing still. I want to bring in a lot of like this. So adding in a lot of this is going to help smooth this out and stop it from looking so gray everywhere. Okay, we've done some detailing, some texture work. A little bit unsure how to set up this flower, but we're going to leave it floating there for now. Let's see, we've filled in the windows. Oh, not filled in the wall there. And textured all around. Thinking now, before we get into organizing our storage, we might want to clean up some areas around, like this hill. Okay, we've done the first stage of that and sorted out this area, kind of covered some of the steeper part in stone cliffery, some bushes, and also brought in a couple more of these wildflowers. I really like these, and I think they actually look pretty well at home in the Savannah color palette. Moving back over here, I'm kind of wondering, since this is just a plain like farmer house, if maybe we should go ahead and expand this out into, I think probably something similar to one of our basic houses, but you can see here we've got the yellow color, and I do want to keep that. Ran out of terracotta, and oh man, this horse is my most prized possession right now. Look at this guy. So fast. Oh. Well, that's a big cave. So I think we're going to go for something like this for the shape. A little bit of stone, purish stone exposed at the bottom, and then just kind of a one story, pretty simple thing across like that. I don't know, maybe add a little bit of extra roof or something to spice up this face, because it might end up being a little bit wide and blunt from the angle we're going to be coming in toward it. I think I'd also like to have some sort of staircase pointing down into this, like a cellar almost. Okay, still not too far along the whole texturing part of the process, but we ended up changing up the shape a little bit. Have this bit projecting forward with a completely different roof, this separate, and then this kind of curling around and into the cellar. Little bit sketchy with the cellar and the water that close together. Don't question it. And so I've been thinking about the texturing for this. And yellow is just like a tough color always. One thing that I've been kind of into lately is these mud bricks. It's not super close in color, but I think it's like enough that it doesn't look completely out of left field. I'm also wondering though, because this stuff is actually pretty close in color to the yellow terracotta, the just normal yellow terracotta, I almost wonder if we can get like a little mural, and this will probably take a lot of fiddling with to like get the placement right. I don't know, kind of funky. I'm not sure I love that. I think it's a little bit too... The textures blend internally, but the like vibrant contrasty parts are kind of facing outward, which makes it look a bit goofy. All right, we are back and made some progress. Textured all over the house. I don't know what's going on over here, but it's chaotic, it's messy, but I kind of like it. It looks fine from a distance. It looks okay up close. And we've extended the path here. Don't know what we're gonna do over here. Could maybe throw in another wheat field or something, or just leave it blank. The texturing, this mix is like, it definitely would work better on a larger scale. But like, you know, I think this is fine. So I think that's about as much as we're going to do on this house for now. This wheat field needs some work, but I think we're going to come to that later when we deal with this little sub-village. So we're really down to our final task for today, and it's the one I've been avoiding. It's the one I've been scared of. Gotta move in our storage. So I think the way we're gonna start doing this is we have these chests down here, which we're gonna be moving around and reorganizing. Those are gonna be sorted chests, at least most of them. So for now, we just need some chests up here to just dump everything in. This is our chests at home. Oh man. I think I've come up with a pretty good approach for doing this. I just spam stuff into the chest, and then when I'm done, just chuck everything on the floor. Okay. Just finished wiggling the last items into these chests, and this one didn't end up getting used. But all the other ones are full to the brim. So we have basically 9 double chests full of possessions, and that is all of our stuff right now. So that's about probably what we can fit in like 3 layers here. I am kind of thinking that maybe we should drop this down and stick in potentially 4 layers, although I'm not sure about that. Or no, we can't. Yeah, we can't put anything in this top layer, so that would probably be 3 layers like that. And then we have some extra space, which we're going to need because obviously we're going to continue acquiring possessions. Worst case scenario, if they start to overflow, we can put some bulk and useless stuff upstairs. So we can go something like this, stack these up, and then maybe we can go first for plants, because that's pretty easy to grab. So anything planty that we can find in this chest. We can say that is gonna go right there. Why not? Okay, that's a lot of seeds. And we'll continue filling this out with everything we can grab. And like all these seeds are a great example of something that technically fits in a category, but which we don't really want to put there. So we're going to try to grab maybe a barrel, and we'll say that this is the seeds barrel. And that can live upstairs. We might move it later, but that's a problem for later. And we're just going to shove all the seeds there so that they're not cluttering this up. Now we can go for, I don't know, wood. Everything that's wooden. And that can go down here, I guess. Now I think a next obvious category is going to be stone stuff. Try to be a little bit more minimalistic for now, and then cram more stuff in if there's space later. Now this is around where my categorization scheme starts breaking down. And so I think to get a better idea of what we've got, I'm going to try to consolidate this down into as few chests as will fit it now. A lot of this is harder to categorize, but it's stuff that I would consider building blocks, like terracotta and some colorful things and some of these other weirder colored stone variants. So I think maybe we're gonna create a little rack here for some of those smaller categories. Oh my gosh, y'all, it's done. To start, we have our kind of bulk categories, all the plants, all the woods, all the dirts, a lot of the rocks, kind of anything in this like gray stone through deep slate range, and that, I guess. That could probably go in there. Then over here, mob drops, mineral wealth, and pumpkins? I don't know what's up with those. And then here we have like granite and brick and kind of warm colored stones. You have assorted gray and grayscale-ish items that don't really fit into a category. Some random stuff. Anything that's dyed or dye. Random useful stackables. Unstackables. And any sort of redstone or like utility blocks. So that'll make a storage system. And that'll make a very sleepy guy. We're gonna pace home. Oh dear. Does he see me? He doesn't see me. Get a final quick midnight look at our new house. Oh, I'm kind of curious actually how this looks lurking back there illuminated. Need some light on this. That's okay. Do that later. And I think that's pretty good. So, in general, I think lighting design is something that we could probably focus a little bit more on in this village. That's our progress for today. Hope you all enjoyed. I am going to be laying down in my very empty house now. Good night, y'all. Hope to see you again in the next one. Hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.